ARMY thought the story was over until Jungkook unexpectedly brought everyone's attention back to that mysterious midnight walk. What started as a few photos shared online quickly turned into one of the most talked about moments among fans. The late-night atmosphere, the familiar figure spotted nearby, and the questions that never seemed to disappear kept fueling endless discussions. But now something has changed. During a recent moment that nobody expected, Jungkook finally addressed the topic that fans have been replaying and analyzing for months. His words were brief, yet they immediately sparked a wave of reactions across social media. Was it really the answer ARMY had been waiting for? Or did it only create even more questions than before? As fans look closer at what was said, many believe there may be a detail everyone completely missed. And once you notice it, the entire story feels very different. The moment spread faster than anyone expected. Within hours, clips, screenshots, and fan discussions began appearing everywhere. What made the situation different this time was not the midnight walk itself. Fans had already spent months analyzing every angle, every photo, and every tiny detail connected to that night. What caught everyone's attention now was the sudden shift in focus after Jungkook's unexpected acknowledgement. The reaction was immediate. Some fans believed the mystery had finally reached its conclusion. Others felt the opposite. Instead of providing a final answer, the new attention surrounding the topic seemed to uncover even more details that had gone unnoticed before. Old images resurfaced. Forgotten posts started circulating again. Moments that once seemed insignificant suddenly became the center of discussion. As more people revisited the events of that night, a surprising pattern began to emerge. The timeline appeared simple on the surface. Yet, the more closely fans examined it, the more complicated it seemed. Certain details matched perfectly, while others raised entirely new questions. The location, the timing, and the people involved all became pieces of a puzzle that nobody seemed able to fully solve. Meanwhile, curiosity continued growing at an incredible pace. Many longtime followers noticed something unusual. Discussions were no longer focused on what happened during the midnight walk. Instead, attention shifted toward why the moment still carried so much weight months later. Out of countless public appearances, concerts, broadcasts, and updates, this specific event continued returning to the spotlight. That alone was enough to keep people watching. Every new conversation generated fresh theories. Every theory created new debates, and every debate pushed more people back to the original photos and videos. The emotional side of the story also played a major role. For many fans, the fascination was never about proving a theory. It was about understanding a moment that felt unexpectedly genuine. In a world where schedules are planned down to the minute and public appearances are carefully documented, an ordinary late-night outing seemed almost refreshing. The simplicity of the moment made it stand out. That feeling became impossible to ignore. The images captured something different from the usual headlines and stage performances. There were no bright concert lights, no massive crowds, and no elaborate productions. Just a quiet night that somehow evolved into one of the most discussed fan topics of the year. And that is exactly why the story refuses to disappear. As attention continued building, another detail quietly began attracting interest. Fans noticed that conversations surrounding the midnight walk seemed to resurface whenever major updates involving Jungkook or Taehyung appeared elsewhere. It was almost as if the memory of that night had become permanently attached to every new development. Nobody could explain why. The connection was subtle yet impossible to overlook. Soon, social media feeds were filled with side-by-side comparisons, timeline breakdowns, and revisited posts from months earlier. Some observations seemed convincing. Others were quickly challenged. But regardless of which side people believed, one thing remained consistent. The discussion never stopped. And just when it seemed like every possible angle had already been explored, another unexpected detail started gaining attention among fans. A detail that many people had completely overlooked the first time. A detail that, if true, could completely change how that entire midnight walk is remembered. The question now is no longer whether fans are interested in the story. The real question is what happens when that overlooked detail finally reaches everyone. And judging by the reactions already beginning to appear, the next wave of discussion may be even bigger than the first. As the conversation intensified, fans found themselves returning to one specific question over and over again. Why did this particular moment continue attracting so much attention when countless other events had already come and gone? The answer wasn't as obvious as many expected. What made the midnight walk different was the feeling surrounding it. Months had passed, yet people were still discovering new angles, new images, and new interpretations. Every time the story appeared to fade away, something unexpected brought it back into the spotlight. Then, another development quietly began gaining traction. Several fan communities started comparing reactions from different periods, noticing how public interest seemed to spike whenever discussions involving Jungkook and Taehyung resurfaced. It wasn't necessarily about confirming anything. Instead, it reflected how strongly fans remained connected to moments that felt personal, spontaneous, and unfiltered. That emotional connection became impossible to measure. New viewers entering the story for the first time often found themselves falling down a rabbit hole of old posts, archived photos, and fan analyses. What started as simple curiosity quickly turned into hours of searching for context. The deeper they looked, the more they realized why the topic had never truly disappeared. Yet, beneath all the theories, another reality was emerging. Many fans were beginning to focus less on finding definitive answers and more on appreciating the memory itself. The Midnight Walk had evolved into something larger than a single event. It had become a symbol of a rare moment that felt authentic and unscripted. Ironically, that shift only made the mystery stronger. Without clear conclusions, everyone was left with their own interpretation. Some saw coincidence, others saw meaning. Many simply enjoyed the possibility that there might still be pieces of the story nobody had discovered yet. And perhaps that is where the fascination truly lives, not in certainty, but in the unanswered questions. Because every time people think the story has reached its final chapter, another image resurfaces, another discussion begins, another detail catches someone's attention. And now, with renewed interest spreading once again, longtime fans are asking whether the most important clue was never hidden in the photos at all. What if it was hidden in the reactions? What if the reason this moment continues to resonate has less to do with what happened that night and more to do with how people felt when they saw it? That possibility is creating a completely new wave of discussion, one that may lead the story in a direction nobody expected. And if the growing speculation is any indication, the next discovery could be the one that changes everything fans thought they knew about that unforgettable midnight walk.